Sometimes I think I really need to do a better job of writing some things down. We were going to go last night, but nobody could do it. Saw a couple people suggest that they might be able to join the night, but I forgot to write down who that was. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go solo for a bit. If folks want to join, they are more than welcome to join. Just throw your hand up in chat and I'll drop you in here. But nonetheless, we've had free agency start this week. We did a bit of a preview for it before it started on Monday. So we're going to follow back up today with the start of free agency, some of the players that have been won, and some of the interesting things that are happening. It's just me. This won't take very long, and I'll start inundating you all with trades and get some post-pod action going. And if it does, well, should be fun. Anyways, as we mentioned, free agency kicked off Tuesday Eastern time at noon. We've had, let's see, how many auctions have been won? Well, I can't scroll down in that box anymore. A lot, only about 20 or 30 at this point. Some pretty big names like a Travis Kelce on a new team. Some smaller names like Treylon Burks, which is the most recent winner to the 49ers. We've reached the part of the process where we have 2 nominations per team at this point, so we've got a pretty full board, and it looks like we've got about 3, 6, 9 more that could be coming off the board within the next hour. Again, folks have been pretty active. Looked like the first round of bids had about 10% of all open cap being spent in free agency, which is a good sign. Again, because otherwise it's just going to sit there all year. This is really the best chance to use it and not necessarily lose it, but at least use it and put it to good use for your team. And it's helped kind of fill in the gaps on a couple of other teams as well. Some teams are sitting there with over 100 million in cap space. Yeah, you're going to spend some money on whatever is available here. But there've been some pretty good deals too. So let me go ahead and pull up the transactions for the auctions one, and I'll go through some of the bids that are over and how I like those for their teams. So the total is 48. Wow, that's a lot more than I was thinking. So good job by all. First auction win was by the Colts for Tariq Woolen for about $7.5 million for a corner. Again, everything's going to be more expensive in free agency. It's just a nature of the beast. There are a couple corners that went early that probably more expensive than you'd like to on them, but if you're going to get one of the top guys in free agency, you're going to have to spend. And Colts is not exactly wanting for free agent, or for cap space. Same story with Packers, picked up Nahshon Wright. Then we had some special teamers go, and probably the first guy of real big consequence, I'd say, Kevonta Turpin for $20 million. We talked about him a little bit in the preview show of what he was going to end up going for with some of the changes to the return points, but still went for $20 million. And he was, again, a pretty good scorer last year. So expecting he's going to be in a similar role with Dallas again this year. Nice add by the Falcons. Packers, again, picking up a couple of defensive players, Nahshon Wright for $10 million, Caden Ellis for $25 million. And then, as mentioned, Kelce going to the Jets, who is an embarrassment of riches at the tight end position. He had Freiermuth, has Kittle, and now added Kelce to the room. So if you're looking for a tight end, he might be willing to trade one. But if not, good for him. He's got some depth there. Definitely good on some teams who I'd say were building cap space and not exactly going for the wins last year. Being pretty active early on in free agency. You have the Colts picking up a couple of players, like I mentioned, Packers picking up a couple of players, Pats winning 3 auctions, Bills winning 3 auctions, Bears winning a couple auctions. Teams that may not have been as competitive as last year, really stepping in and doing what they can to change the narrative this year. So had our first victim pipe up in chat here, so we'll see if they want to go ahead and join still. But yeah, just kind of going through here. My first bid was Eric Wilson. He got won by the Pats for just under $20 million. Nick Scott for 5 million, again at safety position. Um, Bill's really spending up on some veterans. Bobby Wagner going for 21, Khalil Mack going for just under 25, Denico Autry for about 2.5. Let's see. And gotta respect some guys rolling the dice here. I don't think Ty Johnson or Brian Robinson have teams yet they've been won at auction. Tyreek Hill, again, same kind of situation, one for just under 20 million by the Jets. Let's see. Jack Gibbons for just under 13 million to the Raiders. Mariota was a guy we were looking at as potential big ad, considering the amount of time he spent starting behind Jane Daniels last year. I think he stayed with the team there too. So very valuable handcuff to have. All right, another victim. Let's add them to the queue here for the chat. Probably surprised in terms of the price tag on this one too. Darren Waller for 9.1 million. I think he spent last season in the 17 to 20 range in terms of what his cap hit was. So for the year after that to go for 9.1 is pretty remarkable, especially considering another tight end from Miami either was on the board or still is on the board for close to double that amount right now. So I think Waller is a free agent, and I think his future might be a little bit more up in the air, but definitely interesting to see that valuation on him. First player under $1 million was Jaleel McLaughlin, it looks like. 950K. Jalen Ramsey for 9.2 million. Clay Campbell for 10 million. Holy shit, Bill's even buying some players. Kendrick Bourne for 20, Chris Tonga for 1.5, Tatum Bethune for 11.2, and Noah Gray for just under 10. So it's an interesting play. So he's seems to be picking up these Bill is players who are more than likely depth and or the big contracts. I don't know if the plan is to renegotiate them or if these are just call it placeholders of cap for him as he continues his quest to pick up all of the 2017 the 2027 draft capital. As mentioned, rounding out the top here, the 49ers picked up Treylon Burks, Patrick Jones, and Demarcus Robinson, all for seven-figure deals. Burks at 3.4 million. I'll out myself. I was one of the teams that was bidding on him, getting re-upped by Washington. Interesting roll of the dice there. Again, former first-round talent, as we all know. Latched on there, I want to say mid last season, and getting a deal to stay there is definitely a good sign for him. I've had somebody join the lobby, but they have not connected a microphone or a camera. So we'll see if I can get the microphone working before I can add them into the conversation here. But for now, I'll just kind of keep chatting. Let's see. So yeah, the 49ers picking up those three, and then had also won the bid on Von Miller for 10 million, who'd also signed in Washington of all places. There he is. Mike on. How we doing?
Good. What's up? How are you?
Thanks for joining. Just to kind of just blabbing about the auctions that have been won so far. For those who don't recognize that voice, that is the one and only America's team, the Cowboys, the NFC runner-up from last year. So I feel like you join us at least once or twice a year. So I appreciate you making this one of those times.
Yeah, for sure. It's fun to do, and when I have the time, I'll jump in.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. But I'm just kind of going through the list here of auctions won so far. I think you are in the same camp as I am of folks who may have participated in some bids but haven't quite been lucky enough to win any yet.
That is correct.
Yeah, it's a bit of Wild West out there a little bit.
Yeah. I have some up right now that I think I'm still winning, so we'll see how that
That's good
goes.
for you because I keep losing mine as soon as I have them. So, yep, I see one, two that still have your name on them, and one I was just talking about. Um, Talking about the Darren Waller going for, I think it was 9.1, and you
Hmm.
have another Miami tight end that you're the high bid on right now. I'm not going to say for the amount because, like I said, I don't want to completely call you out here and get people sniping on you. But um, it's definitely been interesting. I feel like every time I'm a high bid on somebody, it's almost like a siren call of folks coming in to high bid me on stuff.
All right, let me see. All right, now I got the auctions one. All right.
But just kind of taking a look at who is still up for auction right now. Folks are definitely hammering the special teamers at the moment. A lot of punters and kickers have already gone, and I'm counting just the top of the list here: one, two, three, four, five, um, six, seven, eight special teams units up for bid right now. So
Yeah.
if not more. Like I said, that was just a quick count, but nonetheless, teams really putting the pedal to the metal to go figure out the spot that nobody seems to care about during the year.
Yeah. Yeah. I was trying to get Lions, and then Commanders comes in and outbids me, of course. Um, but yeah, there are a surprising amount of special teamers up there already. And I would say I'm still fairly surprised at how low some of these prices are staying.
Yeah,
I,
I mean,
I thought some of them, with all that cap out there, I thought some of these guys would be going at crazy prices, but apparently people are hesitant to spend the cap right now.
well, we've been stepping up the rules to make it a little bit tougher for folks to spend. Um, Obviously, last year at Rollover, we instituted the renegotiation change where
Yeah.
instead of the 50% reduction, you get 25% reduction, which
Yep.
was intended to try and drop some of the bids here. The thing that's on the hook now with this year is this is the last year that a retirement will come off of your cap. After this year, retirements don't come off the cap; it just expires like it would any other contract. So,
Okay, that was
um,
the change that was getting discussed the other day. Yeah, I
yeah,
see.
so that's going to be a big one that as a result of that, I think folks maybe start being a little bit more, I'd say, gun shy of, hey, I'm going to go bid on this guy because if I win him, and he retires, then I have the cap fall off my situation.
Right.
But I might actually have to place a nomination here because I have a guy who might, someone who actually might win a player that I nominated. Of course, it was Goose, but
Right. Um, so I think out of the auctions one, I would say that they're all pretty good. I think that uh, Caden Ellis, I think he might have gone for a bit too much. Um, you could have gotten a comparable player in Eric Wilson for a little bit less. Um, but other than that, I think everything's pretty fine.
yeah, I was definitely surprised to see some of, like I said, the stacks I was talking about as you were joining the Jets and his three stack at tight end now. Again, it seems to be a sign for a trade. It'll be a question of whether that's going to be a fire move for Kittle that he's trying to move, but um, definitely looking like folks trying to pad a position of strength. And then definitely a couple of, I'll call it handcuffs going for reasonable amounts, but probably far more reasonable than I was expecting. Like Snoop Huntley is available out there. Last I saw, he was at about 1.5 million. I don't know if he's still there, but when I bid on him earlier, that's what he went up to. So again, I was somewhat surprised by that as well.
Yeah. Well, he's still in Miami, right? Or no, he's in Baltimore now again, right?
He's back in Baltimore. Yeah, he got re-signed this year to go back to backing up.
Lamar
Yeah,
Jackson. I was going
Lamar.
to say, if he was still in Miami, that would make some sense to go after him. But
Let's see. Yeah, and then of course the Hall of Famer. Just for the shits and the giggles, I think I might have to bid on him. Brady Cook sitting there as the presumptive starter in whatever Fantasy Sharks or whoever does our
yeah, what's he projected, like 306 points?
319 points.
There's no,
Which I'll tell you is a hell of a projection for the Jets quarterback right now. In fact, I'm not going to bid on it, but I do want to see what that comes out to here. So players, let's see, free agent. No, it doesn't pop up there. All right, I guess I have to search him. Searching for Brady Cook. Yes, this is what this has come to here. His projection for this year, 2,286 yards on 249 for 413 passing, 27 touchdowns and 11 interceptions, with 203 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, show me the last Jets quarterback that's done that.
Yeah, 27 touchdowns out of the Jets quarterback. I'll tell you what.
You really think Brady Cook is going to be the guy to?
Apparently, he is the guy. Man, that's fantastic.
That's why sometimes the projections on some of these players you have to check twice and be like, wait a minute, what's going on here?
Well, yeah, and I think it's nice too with that, because if the projections were too good, then there's some really tech-savvy people in this league who would be scraping this and saying, oh, here's what the real projections are, here's what the teams are, here's what I should be bidding and everything. The fact that there's such garbage helps even the playing field, I feel like, for everybody.
Yeah, that is true. You have to do more of your own research.
Yeah, now I just got to figure out who I might want to bid on next here. Anyone you're surprised that hasn't gotten nominated yet, or still out there? Again, I know this is active, so we don't want to table talk too much, but
right.
I guess any surprises for you so far?
I have to figure out how to pull up the players that haven't been taken, because I can't nominate right now.
I think if you go to player stats and then search for free agents, you can.
Yeah, that's right.
Have stuff pop up there.
Free agent.
Let's see. The fun part is looking for players to nominate and seeing players worth something, and then going to the respective depth chart of that team, and they're not there.
Oh, yeah. Why is it only showing me? There we go.
Well, of course, the QB1 in Vegas is Aiden O'Connell right now, so I need to go lock that down.
Right. Yeah, that's why. I mean, that's why I picked him up. It was like, if worst case, he's going to be a backup and he plays a few games, and who knows?
Could be worse. Let's see.
Oh.
He's a free agent. Seems to be highly sought after. And then let me double check this other guy. Yeah, I guess that's one problem with free agency. It's not exactly the fastest and furious of the situations here.
Yeah, exactly. It's with all the bidding up and everything, it takes some time.
Yeah. But while we're talking about free agency, always open to some suggestions. And there was a pretty good one that popped into chat couple nights ago, Goose had mentioned the potential of trying to maybe speed things up and/or help with some of the I'll say inflation on some of the big contracts, but maybe having some more stuff active at once. Um, we're considering it. Jeremy and I talked about it a little bit earlier today. We've got it on our notepad to continue the game plan. A couple of ideas that might help again make the process a little bit more fair is the tough word because until we can do something to increase the quality of the player that's available in free agency, there's not a whole lot more we can do than it's like, hey, there's one Travis Kelsey, so you're either going to get him or you're not.
Yeah. I would say, I would say there's Isaiah Mao is probably a guy that I'm a little surprised is still hanging around. Um, Marlon Humphrey still up there.
Yeah, so there's a lot of corners getting bid up throughout the process here too. So I mentioned some of the ones that went for some value. I feel like some sanity has returned to the position. A lot of the corners there right now are kind of in that $4 to $7 million range, and then a good amount of call it depth receivers going now too. After the big names of Kavonta Turpin and others have gone, we've settled into the guys who were on teams but getting cut 2 weeks ago that are getting bid on to the dismay of everybody who was trying to get a fifth round pick for them 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Kavonte Turpin was really the only, I think, free agent wide receiver that I had any interest in. But once he got up to over 15 million, I was like, somebody else can have him.
Did Tyreek end up going?
He was at 19 million.
Tyreek went for 19.
Yeah, 19-1, I think. Just other receivers that are up there. Jordan Whittington for 6.7 million to the Rams, which again would be relevant since he's a real life Ram. Ben Skoranek for league minimum right now. Arian Smith for 1.5 million. As different receivers out there. Let's see.
Aaron Waller.
How do you guys feel when there's a player you were trying to trade 2 or 3 weeks ago and they were on a much better contract and you had to cut them for rollover and then you see him on free agency 3 weeks later?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Got a couple of those going right now, which is maddening, but
Yeah. Free agency is definitely where you can round out your defense, and offense you can just get like some smaller depth pieces.
Well, yeah, I think that's why it has been slower. Like I'm fine not winning any of these bids right now because I'd rather wait and pick up guys at a much lower price point for what they're going to be on my team. I don't think I have enough settled right now on my team to bet the amount that some of these teams are doing. Now, for Jets, and you've got kind of a strong core to kind of build behind here. Hey, you want to spend 30 million on Kelsey? Go do it. You want to go spend 19 million on Tyreek Hill? Have fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was surprised by both of those for Jets specifically because I just feel like he could have really rounded out his depth better with that 50 million. He's got Freiermuth and Kittle. I mean, I don't know when Kittle will come back, but I didn't really think tight end was like 30 mil need.
Yeah, agreed. Those are two that
Dawson
I'm not.
Knox went for 19. Oh my god.
Yeah.
It's fun. I just remember the trade deadline. I sent RJ like a trade extension swap, and he didn't accept it when he was like $1 million.
Yeah.
And now look at him.
Yeah, some of the moves are a little strange, but if that's the way you want to build your team and you feel that's what works best for you, then go for it, man.
I think the one player I was bummed about was Caden Ellis.
I said earlier I think he went for a bit too much.
Yeah, 25. I mean, 25 is a lot, but
you could have gotten the same player, Eric Wilson, for $6 million less.
How did he do last year? Yeah, that was a good year last year for him too. Yeah.
And he got re-signed by the Vikings now, so he's definitely going to stay the starter.
Yeah, the one thing this is also a good reminder of is I felt kind of savvy when I was having the pod with the RJ on Monday of, hey, who are the guys that I'm targeting? Who are the guys I'm thinking will be great ads? And I'm like, oh, you know what? I don't know if anyone noticed D. Alford has signed yet. Or, hey, I don't know if anyone noticed this. And then I look first thing on Tuesday when I can log on and start bidding on it. And it's like, oh, yeah, there's three of the people that I was going to have as sort of suave targets that nobody knew was coming. And of course, they've already been up to $3 million on the auction already.
Yeah. I mean, I won't say there's 30 other owners here that are active, but we're all looking at that free agents pool. I have 10 names of guys I would like, and I'm willing to spend 5 to 10 mil on as a 1 year rental for depth.
Yeah.
I think that the Traylon Burks, I didn't think he'd end up going for 3.5. That one could be, maybe I'm just still lighting a small candle for him from his college days, but I would make that a multi-year contract for sure, just in case.
I mean, it's fine taking a gamble on Traylon Burks. It's cheap, Best case he's something now. Worst case he's what he is, and you
it's
lose
only
him.
$3.5 million. I mean,
yeah, it's only $3.5 million. It's not, if you have to cut him after a year, it's not really a big deal. He's not going to do anything. He's not good, but it's worth it to take that risk.
Is Darren Waller even trying to play again this year?
That's one that's going to be tough. And you said Vikings, it's this year the retirement rule, or
after this year? Yes.
So this year you're still safe. Okay.
I think there's very few free agents that are worthy of a multi-year deal.
Yeah, for sure. Outside of, the corners are kind of going for a lot, so probably.
I do just want to say that Bucks did in fact extend the kicker for the Jags for 4 years, and I was like, that's just the most Bucks thing ever.
Did he really?
A 4-year contract. Yep.
Well, Cam Little was a rookie last year, so I mean,
yeah,
it's not the worst idea I've ever heard. Again,
it's more he just always has a contract year problem because he gives every single player 4 years and then has to dump 3 guys randomly because I used to do that a lot. I used to give people contracts because I was afraid to lose them, and now I've realized that don't give everybody huge contracts. You got to kind of spread it out. And if you have to lose a player here and there, it is what it is. Can't be afraid to lose guys. And then when their contracts 1 or 2 years left, you can find somebody who will take them and trade them away. I mean, that's what our 5th rounders are for dumping an unwanted contract on someone who doesn't care.
Yeah.
This is true. Or for, be able to throw 4 of them at a team to swap kickers midseason.
Yeah, or that.
Bill and Colts were kind of reinventing the trade market there a little bit this season.
Yeah, I think RJ came up with that move initially. And
did he?
Well, I mean, he truly, I'd say, pioneered the I'm going to try and make my score as low as humanly possible.
Right.
And then definitely Bill took it to a whole other level.
Yeah, they just followed suit and were able to expand on it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the you've taken something that we would have called perfected because I don't think anyone wanted to see it get any better, and you really made it your own.
It was
So,
always interesting to see how many fifth round picks were going to get offered to me from Bill.
oh my god. Yeah, and again, now that we've switched out the taxi rules a little bit, those fifth rounders are probably a little bit tougher to move now.
Yeah. So this year, it's what the taxi. You can't put just like the rookies. You can't just really stash the rookies anymore, right?
Right. So the way it works is the player has to be added from free agency. You designate after you sign them that they are a taxi ad, and they will be given put on your taxi squad for on a 1 year deal.
Yeah.
Because the thing that we kept having happen is everyone had to clear their taxi squads at the end of the year, and there were multi-year deals on those, and that just wasn't right.
Yeah. So I can't stash Ryan Flanoy and freaking Audric Estime on my taxi all season and then activate them once they start playing.
Unfortunately, now. Again, not quite exact. Again, it's the goal of trying to get this at least somewhat NFL adjacent. So
Right.
that was the thought concept there. Plus, that makes clearing the taxi squad a whole lot easier at the end of the year because, hey, if everyone's on a 1 year deal, worst case scenario, they just hit free agency anyway.
Right. Makes sense.
If I gave a fifth round guy a 1 year contract, don't you think that could be taxi squattable?
Well, the problem is he would be on your roster, so then you'd have to cut him before you could add him to your taxi. And again, the other aspect of this that we were going for is in the NFL, if you're going to assign someone to your taxi squad, they have to clear waivers first. So that's the equivalent of somebody clearing waivers. You're cutting the player and then signing them to your taxi squad.
Yep, that makes sense.
So that was that concept.
We're going to miss that mini game during the season.
Yeah, probably a little bit, but there'll still be IR for people to toy with. We're still always searching for ways to get people from hiding cap space and stuff like that. And we didn't have the results this year, but we're continuing to game plan that. But
yeah, that definitely will be a way to help, I think.
All right. Any other thoughts on free agency, or should we jump to the trades that have happened in the last week?
Is there like a timeline for when we might just move to like unlimited nominations?
I think and this was another good point that Goose made as well. We don't really have a hard and fast way of doing it. I think what Jeremy and I look for is when things start to slow down. Like this morning when I woke up, there were, I think, 8 active auctions, and clearly that's not enough. So jumping from 1 to 2 at that point to try and bump the number of active auctions was the right thing to do.
Yeah.
We're not going to have it slow down to hopefully 8 again before we bump it back from 2 to the next step, whether it's 3 or unlimited or otherwise. But the intent here is to do it gradually because it's a long off season and activity is in spurts where we've got a little bit of free agency here, and then it's people getting rookie fever, but not a whole lot to do until the NFL draft. So actually allowing this to stretch out a little bit is not the worst thing in the world. But that said, if it really starts to go on life support, people stop paying attention, and that's when stuff gets slid through that probably isn't fair. So not a hard and fast, but probably in the next day or two we'll jump it beyond 2 to more.
There's 2 other moves that have happened so far that, like, Justin Sternad, $16 million. Is he even going to start?
Well, they just released Greenlaw, so maybe. But
I just heard that Greenlaw was coming back.
No, Greenlaw's San Francisco.
Oh, coming back to San Francisco.
yeah,
And then the other one that I like for Patriots is Marcus Mariota for $3 million. He doesn't really have a quarterback, but he's got a guy that's likely going to start some games, and he'll do Marcus Mariota things. He'll be fine.
yeah. And he just won Riley Leonard, who could theoretically start.
Yeah, I was looking at that too. He's got Riley Leonard, who actually played all right when he played last year, which I was pretty surprised about.
Did he?
I mean,
Yeah, I was just
2
wondering.
touchdowns, 3 interceptions. That's not terrible. It's not great.
And when is Daniel Jones supposed to be healthy? I don't have a good lock on that, really.
Well, as the Daniel Jones owner, supposedly they say he's actually trending towards being ready for training camp, which is interesting. But we'll see.
Yeah. No, I realized you're the Daniel Jones owner, so I figured I'd give you a chance to to ply your wares there a little bit.
Supposedly, yeah, he's going to be good for like the off-season program training camp. I don't know. Just pretty late.
He's in the best shape of his life.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he's never thrown the ball better.
Exactly. He's doing it from a wheelchair right now. But, never looked better.
Patriots has made some nice moves here, I think.
Yeah, again, he's adding to the depth, which is good. And then the fun part is when he takes it all, puts it into a big pile, jumps it around, and then starts training it. And you come back 3 weeks later, and you're like, "Wait, he's on that team?"
I might go ahead and say that Patriots is having the best free agency so far.
Yeah, the hot takes, I love it. How about you, Giants? Any favorite of the free agents so far?
Let me go to this transactions tab real quick, see who's done a couple of things I like. Yeah, I mean the Bills have gotten a couple of. I mean they're spending a lot of money, but picked up a bunch of old guys. Khalil Mack for 25 mil, Wagner for 21. We assume he'll probably play somewhere. Autry for 2 million, Sheldon Rankins for 7.
Yeah, he picked up
for 11. I think there's like a handful. I mean, that's like those are points, right? Like those will be points this year to balance out which will be the rest of his very young team.
Right. And if his very young team isn't quite ready to take that next step, these are trade pieces
points.
He can trade for still some good value.
Yeah, he got Calais Campbell too for just like he's got like the all-time like 30-year-old defensive players.
And what do they have left? 1 or 2 more years. So if it doesn't work out, trade them away and help somebody win a Super Bowl.
Hopefully he's not giving these guys too many years. Well, Bobby got 2. Autry got 2. Khalil just got 1. Calais Campbell 2. Boy, Sheldon Rankins 2. All right, you gave 2 to most of them.
Bobby Wagner 2 years is fine. Khalil Mack 1 year is fine. I would have only given. I'm losing his name, but I would have only given him 1 year.
I feel like I would have given all these guys 1 year, but
I'm fine with Bobby Wagner for 2 years. I think Bobby Wagner still wants to play.
Yeah, I know he was like productive this year from like a fantasy standpoint, but I don't think he was very good from like an actual football standpoint.
What do we know what his PFF grade was?
Not off the top of my head.
We can maybe find out.
It'd be interesting to see where he lands as well, because like there was a lot of linebackers that were free agents this year, and I think most of them have found homes. So I'm curious.
And he hasn't.
Yeah, he hasn't. So I'm curious where he'll end up.
I mean, his PFF grade ranks him 7th out of 88. But you know,
that is a good PFF grade, but
but it's not always, it's not always
Yeah.
accurate to how
Again,
someone
like statistically, like he was Bobby Wagner last year. Like,
Yeah.
but I just feel like, and I don't know how much like the stats are weighing in on that grade, but like I just feel like he had some empty calorie stats here.
Yeah. And on a bad
points are points,
But yeah, so I would say Bills would be my winner so far in free agency, and that means that there's two teams in the AFC East who are kicking everyone's butt, and guess what? They had a bunch of money to spend because they were mostly tanking last year, so that makes sense.
Wow. Eagles got Jaleel McLaughlin for only 9.5.
Yeah, that one annoyed me.
Like,
But I don't
Jaleel
think
McLaughlin's
he's
probably going to be the number 2 next year, right?
no. They brought back
No,
Dobbins,
Dobbins
so they have Dobbins and
Did they
Harvey.
bring back Dobbins? I thought he was leaving.
Yeah, no,
no, they brought him back.
Oh. Still, though, he's going to get some playing time.
Yeah.
And for
I mean,
less than $1 million?
So he missed like the first half of the season, and he was averaging looks like 5 attempts a game basically when he did play.
Yeah.
So it's you're gonna hope for a touchdown, but again, RJ doesn't care. Like this is just gonna be an asset he can flip later. So the fact that it's at the minimum or near minimum is great for him.
Yeah.
All right, AFC East, we see you buying all the old guys.
It's only a matter of time until they turn around and sell him, saying, "Who wants this guy?"
Yeah.
I'm shocked I haven't seen more recently bought free agents up on trade baits yet. I
Well,
appreciate that.
that's the Goose special. How many has Goose won? Because those will be coming.
Only a matter of time. How long does it take to forget that someone just won them?
Isaiah Williams coming to a trade offer near you.
Hey, I put him up for bid. That was one of my nominations.
I think at 8 million, that's just given what the rest of the receivers are going for. Like he's a good bet. I think I'd rather have him than Whittington, who's going to be going for something similar.
Well, good for you, because Goose is formulating 3 offers for you right now.
Oh God.
What do you think about Kendrick Bourne for 20 million?
Nope, don't love that.
Me either.
Where did he sign?
Arizona. And Arizona's quarterback is
Brissett.
Jacoby Brissett still.
And he's going to be behind Michael Wilson and Marv. So, yeah.
And Trey McBride.
And that guy.
Yeah.
I know that guy. Yeah.
I mean, Jacoby Brissett showed the ability to spread the ball around pretty well last year. So, I mean, he'll definitely get targets, but not sure how many.
Yeah, the one thing that's been interesting is apparently they haven't named Jacoby the starter yet, which, again, he is an all but name, but is
right. Well, yeah, it depends on what happens, I'm sure, in the draft and the rest of free agency. Before
I mean, I'm sure
commit to another season of mediocrity.
Yeah, I don't know if they would declare him until after the draft anyway. Even because it's a whole new regime, so they have no ties to him.
Yeah, maybe a quarterback they like falls their way in the 3rd or 4th round, and they're like, let's bring some competition in and see what happens.
I mean, to be honest, like their game plan is pretty clear. There's 3 teams who are not trying to win games next year, and they're one of them. So you could take a rookie and just worst case scenario, you roll him out there. He sucks. Okay, well, he sucks, and we're still losing.
Right.
But
worst
if he's
case,
good, then maybe you just take Jeremiah Smith instead.
Right.
Take the ultra talented receiver from Ohio State. What could
I
go
hear
wrong?
it's a good strategy.
What could go wrong?
Yeah, the only one is Marv so far. He's disappointing.
And I mean, even Marv, right? Like, yes, he's disappointing from where like the freaking historic levels that we were.
Yeah, I mean, he's fine. He's a fine player. He just hasn't. Yeah. He just hasn't been the elite receiver that everyone thought he would be.
Yeah.
Yeah, we thought he was going to walk into the league and be a top 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about some of these moves you guys have made recently.
Okay.
Going back to last week, we had about 13 trades that have happened. Panthers and Dolphins, 3/3 for a second. Pretty standard stuff there. Cowboys, Derek Brown for Jamarick Caldwell, 230, 321, 409, and a fifth. You want to talk about that at all?
I thought it was probably fair. Maybe I could have squeezed a little more out of him for Derek Brown, being on a pretty friendly contract for 3 more years and being able to be one of the few defensive tackles that can put up a 30-point game any day. So I really liked him. I wanted to keep him. But on that day, I thought that was a fair trade. And that's what we have.
I felt like it was a good return for you.
Yeah, he started out with just the 2.3 as the first offer. And so I was able to squeeze all that other stuff out of him for Derek Brown. So I thought it was fine.
Yeah. Again, I think it is too. Again, I'm trying to be a little bit more deadpan in the delivery here. But for a D tackle who, how old is Brown now?
Not very old, 26.
27.
27, apparently.
He's
Yeah.
28 in April.
He's a cornerstone of your defense for the next 3 years you have him.
Yeah. Only $8 million.
He can single-handedly win the game.
For what is going for right now. It's not bad. All right, Giants, you're up next. Joey Porter in 504 for BJ Ojolari, who I think just signed somewhere today, right?
I think he's still under contract, if I'm not mistaken. He's on the last year of his rookie deal.
Okay.
Ojolari.
So he'll be with Arizona for this
another
year.
Failed Cardinals draft pick.
Well, he just had a horrible knee injury.
He did have a bad injury. He had a promising rookie season,
a year and a half, and he came back last year, and
yeah,
he's whatever. He had 1 sack the last half of the season. But
yeah, I just remember I live in Arizona, so I get a lot of news on the Cardinals, and I just remember that they bring a lot of these hybrid. I don't know if BJ Ojolari is really a hybrid, but they do bring in a lot of these hybrid guys, and they move them around, and they don't give them one clear position like Isaiah Simmons, and then he ends up just not really figuring it out.
No, you're right. It seems like they
just
they want guys who can play multiple different spots, so that there's no hey, we're reading this guy in this position, so that's what the defense is doing.
Right. Just find the best, find where you think he fits best, and let him do his thing. Like Micah Parsons' rookie year, he played true linebacker, and then he still had a ton of sacks, and they were like, well, this guy's just a better pass rusher, so we're just going to put him at D end, and that was that.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense.
So this is a new I don't know if this is the GM that drafted him. I don't know. We're spending a lot of time on
Sorry, I kind of ran
for no, but I mean you're not wrong. But yeah, so he was drafted in the first year of the new GM. Yeah, ultimately, I think their defense was sort of decent last year, and it was just to me, I'd rather have defensive end points than corner points. They were both 1-year guys, and so to me, it was just a position preference.
Yeah, if it works out, looks good for you. So it's good trade.
Yeah, I did mean to extend him, and I missed the 24-hour deadline because my kid's bedtime took longer the next night, and I was like, oh my god. But that's what I get.
Happen.
Yeah.
Speaking of 5th rounders for players, 501 for Jack Kaiser.
I do not know this person.
I've got nothing here. We can.
Yeah. Looks
I've
like he's
heard
a
the
Notre Dame
name, but
linebacker drafted in the 4th round last year from the Jaguars.
yeah,
Seems fine.
I mean, with Lloyd leaving, right? Like, is there the potential where this guy becomes at least a rotational linebacker, if not even a starter? Maybe. In which
Sure.
case, Panthers got a steal.
Sure, he'll have to probably go through Ventrell Miller or beat him
Yeah,
out, but
agreed.
that's fine. Or maybe he gets hurt, but that's fine. It's a fine trade.
yeah, could be worse. Bill continuing his acquisition of 27 draft capital, taking the Dallas kicker that he overpaid for.
Oh, yeah.
And Elijah Cansey that I think he gave me around second for, and putting those together and getting the Pat second for next year.
Mm-hmm. It all depends on Kalijah Kansas.
I just think we're missing a couple fifths to really meet this kicker value.
The kicker deal. What's a kicker deal without fifths still? Come on, what the fuck?
Well, the Pats never keeps fifth, so it was just never going to happen otherwise. I think this is a fine trade, though. Like, I think Cansey is worth a second. You get it, one of the best kickers in the league. It'll depend where the Pats second ends up, right? If it's the first half of the second round, you're going to be a little annoyed. But if it's later in the second round, then I think this is spot on.
Yep. All right, moving on up. Marion Overshone, Elijah Moten, and these two hot and spicy 5th round picks that Buccaneers just picked up for Jalen Redmond and Demario Davis.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
I feel like I massively prefer the Bucks side of this, getting Davis and Redmond. I mean, I guess it depends on Overshone's needs, right? Like, does he
Overshone can return
come back?
to some semblance of the elite dominant player it seemed he would be.
Yeah.
Then it's probably better for the Bengals. But he didn't look very good last year.
Yeah.
When he came back.
Now, Redmond was on a 1-year deal, right? So, like, he wasn't going to be able to keep him unless he wanted to keep tagging him or something. And obviously Davis is very expensive. So, like, I think there's a significant cap dump here, which allows the Bengals to do other things in free agency for what it's worth, right? So, like, you have to weigh that opportunity.
And he could potentially get upside from both of those players. So,
yeah,
I can see it.
Yeah, I mean, I expect he'll get points. I don't know how much did Overshown play last year.
He played like the last 7 games, and I don't know, maybe he scored 50 points.
35. Yeah, he played week 11 through 16. So not not very productive, but that he's a whole year removed, further removed from that injury. And so yeah, I mean, I'm sure Bengals, most of his preference there was cap dump so that he had some flexibility in free agency.
Yep.
And the upside of Overshown.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. All right. Next up, we have Calvin Austin for a 3rd. And I mean, Giants, you kicking yourself here because Calvin Austin's the newest New York Giant.
It's funny. I had an offer out for Calvin Austin. I don't know that it wasn't a 26th third for sure. I don't know if it was a 27th third or a 4th, but I revoked it after Pittman got traded to Pittsburgh, not realizing that Calvin Austin was a free agent. So
I didn't know that either, and I'm a Steelers fan.
So, they said like the Giants are targeting him to be their punt returner. So like you're looking at punt return points and then whatever he can salvage as wide receiver 3, maybe.
If Jackson Dart isn't afraid to throw him the deep ball, he could have.
He won't be. He won't be.
Yeah, Jackson Dart.
Yeah, Dart lets it rip. So like that's not going to be a problem.
I think
But I
that
just
was
don't know
the
how
main,
often they're going to be in like 3 wide receiver
yeah,
sets.
that was the main problem for Austin is he's a deep ball guy, albeit a small guy, but those were the only times he was productive for the Steelers was when he was catching
Yeah.
a long pass.
Yeah. I mean, as a Giants fan, I'm happy to have like a deep threat besides Jalen Hyatt because Jalen Hyatt is garbage. So
Yes. Yeah, so any third round, not an early third round, but I think this is perfect. He's worth a third round pick. These kinds of receivers that score, 100 points, a little bit less than 100 points, usually go for a third round pick.
yeah, I think the timing is just kind of funny because like this trade goes down before he signed, right? So he was just like a free agent with an unknown spot, and I
Yeah.
think it worked out, but it definitely could have not worked out. All right, Mike.
All right.
It's your
Yep. My poo-poo platter finally found a home. Pat Bryant, Kyle Williams, Chris Braswell, and Kirby Joseph to the Rams for Michael Wilson. Love me some Cardinals wide receivers.
it's it's a trade.
I think so. When I saw this, I was like fascinated by this trade because you, for one, you don't see a lot of 4-for-1s.
I'm trying to figure out still kind of what to make of it.
I mean, look, Michael Wilson had a 200-point season. He took off last year with Marv out and is on a great contract.
Yeah,
On the flip side, presumably he's like weapon number 3 in that offense behind McBride and Marv.
I'm gonna say that he's now wide receiver one.
Sure, you could, yeah, sure, you could say that, but I still don't think that's the first option or the like the. I don't think he's going to get the majority of the targets.
It's certainly gonna be hard for him to replicate, putting up 100 points in like 3 weeks.
Yeah, there's also just like 3 guys of the 4 that have had crushes on, and just like I like Pat Bryant, Kyle Williams, and Chris Braswell, even though all of them were like massively underproductive last year.
Yeah.
But like I like all 3 of those
I
players.
actually thought Pat Bryant had a better season than I would have expected. Kyle Williams, I think, was a disappointment, but Pat Bryant showed a lot more promise than I had expected.
Yeah,
so
I mean, and that's what those were. Like Rams is trying to repopulate his team. He's
that's the
got
thing.
some
Yeah, he
bigger
needed the
names.
depth.
Yeah, it's a lot of young, potentially pretty productive players for an older, more productive player.
Now, on the flip side, it's possible that Mike just got one of the best wide receiver values in the league if Michael Wilson does become wide receiver 1 officially for Arizona.
If Michael Wilson puts up 250 points or more this season, which is definitely a possibility,
I'll be pretty happy.
That'd be a pretty nice win.
Yeah, I mean, he's no Parker Washington, but he'd be right around.
Let's see. All right, back to the Giants. Getting 206 and 314 for Jalen Phillips, who is now a Carolina Panther, I believe.
If you want to go ahead and talk about it, you can, or I'll also say my opinion. Up to you.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted a round of first for Phillips. I like him. I just wanted a bit of cap space to actually do something in free agency, and 2, I'm just terrified of his injuries. And so he's kind of a player I think I've acquired him like 3 or 4 times in various deals, and then I just kind of ship him away shortly thereafter. So
I would have probably, if he was still on if the Eagles were able to re-sign him, I would have liked this better. I don't really like him going to Carolina, where I don't think he has much help. But
yeah, I mean, I love the player. I honestly just don't trust his health.
Yeah.
So it's just it's a gamble on his health more than
Yeah,
anything.
I think it's a slight overpay for a potentially, you know, really good pass rusher for you. Um, but Dolphins has a lot of picks, and it's time for him to make his moves. So that's what he's doing.
And that was the trend over the next couple of trades.
I mean, that's exactly what it is right now. Is I think he had something like 32 years at the start of free agency. Probably had a route to be able to create probably 12 or so more, and he had, I want to say, 20 or so picks. So,
Yeah, when you have so many picks, it's a little bit easier to overpay.
well, he's also trying to shift some of those picks to next year too. So,
Yeah,
um, the next couple of trades show that pretty clearly,
yeah,
as he's taking picks from this year, converting them to the next year. Um, but he's still got some shopping to do. I think last year was kind of his last year. He described it to me in one of our chats of, you know, he liked having a low maintenance team that because his team was building, he could just kind of draft it and just leave it there, which was, one way to build a team and wildly frustrating to those of us who wanted to trade for the things on his team. But
yeah.
now he's at a point where
You
he can
don't
start
say.
filling up those gaps.
You know how many Jackson Dart trades I've sent this dude?
I, I know you have.
This guy, Dolphins never. He's just radio silent all the time.
I think he just enjoys getting trades. Like he has no intention of getting them, but enjoys clicking on and saying, "Oh, I've got 5 offers," and enjoying what those offers are.
Yeah, just enjoy which one you're like. Oh, this one seems pretty interesting. Let's work around that one.
Well, I don't know if he even works around them. He just likes to get them, which
True.
I don't know. But hey, yeah, Giants and Dolphins trade. Maybe there's more in the future. Who knows?
Trying, wetting his whistle,
Yeah.
I'm going to say it again. Stop giving my division rivals picks, please.
Well, I saw the Cardinals one where he moved 26 picks for 27, and so I was like, okay, well, let me try the same, and I was happy to do that.
I had pretty far and away the most picks in the division, and then every time I look up, Giants is acquiring more picks and now surpassing me with more picks.
Well, I mean, what are you new here? This is what he
No.
does every year.
No, it's just
I'm a broker.
I'm tired.
He will cycle this and cycle this, and this is what he does. It's not a bad thing. I mean, just like I will try and trade everyone on my team and have a completely different looking roster by the time we get to the draft.
Yeah.
I know, Mike. I'm waiting. I'm waiting for the overhaul trade.
We'll see. We're working on it.
So the next one was another timing. He sent Dolphins sent 215 and 330 for Jonathan Allen, who was cut like promptly thereafter, and then luckily signed immediately with Cincinnati.
Yeah.
But if you compare this to the Derek Brown one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like this is a better second for a more expensive and older player. So like, I mean, he's a lot more expensive. He's 19 million. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, because he just used the trade extension. I see.
On a 1 year deal. Like this, this is the one that made me question my trade. But it's Dolphins. He has a lot of picks. If he wants to overpay for stuff, he can, and get away with it. But yeah, I was like, I thought I got pretty good value for Derek Brown, and then I see this.
I mean, you're not that far off, right? Like with 230. I mean, your third was better. You got an early fourth and a defensive tackle. But it's probably pretty close return wise.
Yeah.
It's just, I think your defensive tackle would be more attractive of a piece that you sent out than Jonathan Allen. But
correct.
150 point plus defensive tackle. I mean, at one point, I mean, he was a monster. So I'd be curious to see how he does with Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's certainly comparable. And then Giants finishing it out. You want to talk about your last trade?
Yeah, I mean, I traded Bateman for a late second, 224. for me, it was like I like Bateman the player. It was just I wanted some cap space and some more draft capital, so I was kind of
It,
like, let me
it,
do this.
is Rashad Bateman even worth a third?
Think he's worth a late second.
That would be incorrect.
I mean,
He's got traded for a late second, so he's at least worth it to somebody.
he's wide receiver two still for.
I would have struggled to pay a third for Rashad Bateman.
I think he's just polarizing. I mean, he had a pretty bad year last year, but like Lamar also barely played last year, and so you have to kind of weigh that. Like his year before, where was Jags? I can find
Yeah, I
him.
mean he's had one good year, but all the rest of the years were very inconsistent.
Yeah, I mean, he had 100 almost 160 points the previous year. Like I think that's like where I would expect him to be with the healthy Lamar, where he has almost 10 touchdowns.
The Ravens are going to find another receiver one way or the other. Zay Flowers.
This was also
Flowers needs help, and Bateman's not the guy to help him.
Yeah.
All right. Solid hour of content there. I really appreciate you guys jumping on. You guys really carried the podcast. I appreciate kind of sitting back here and letting you guys just cook. Anything else you guys want to talk about for the trades, for free agency? Anything I missed in terms of the bids the last half hour?
I don't think anything has happened really on the bidding front.
Nothing's happened. Okay.
Yeah. The 49ers are making some. They got Adoree Jackson and Nick Chubb.
Well, I mean, I hope they're kind of taking the approach to it similar to what some of the other building teams are doing, and just hang on to your picks. Please, please, please hang on to your picks.
Or buy Indianapolis quarterback stack, one or the other.
Just please hang on to your picks. We don't need to do this again. Like, stop being the Bears. Like, there were a couple years where that was driving us crazy. Like, oh, this could be the year that the Bears don't have a top 5 pick that they trade away. Like, yes, finally it happened. Just let's stabilize this franchise, please. But appreciate you guys jumping in to stabilize this podcast instead of me having to rant for an hour on end. And yeah, let's get to the fun part and see if there could be some trades to accompany all of these fun free agent transactions. They get lost in the stack otherwise.